6 habits that quietly make you the grumpy old person without you even knowing. There's a kind of aging that's deeply magnetic. You walk into a room and people pause, not out of politeness, but because they genuinely want to hear what you have to say. You carry wisdom, grace, presence. But there's another kind of aging, the one no one talks about. It's the kind where your entrance brings eye rolls, sighs, and awkward silence. You may not realize it, but your words carry more complaints than insight. Your opinions come off rigid, and your tone, well, it pushes people away. Here's the twist. No one plans to become that grumpy, bitter elder. But certain small habits, repeated over time, lead us there, quietly, without warning. Growing older should be the most powerful season of your life. You have experience, perspective, a lifetime of stories, and if lived with awareness, age brings admiration, not isolation. But if you resist change, cling to outdated ways, and assume your age makes you always right, then something dangerous starts to happen. People stop listening, not because they don't love you, because you've stopped evolving. In this video, we'll uncover 6 sneaky behaviors that can slowly strip away your respect and influence as you age. Not to shame, but to help you catch them before they quietly reshape who you become. And trust me, number 6 will surprise you. It's something most of us do every single day without even realizing the damage it's causing. 1. Why back in my day might be pushing everyone away. It sounds innocent enough. Back in my day, things were better. A simple phrase, a nostalgic nod to the past. But what if that familiar sentence is quietly building a wall between you and the people you love most? You see, every time we glorify the past, insisting that our time was right and this new world is all wrong, we send a subtle but powerful message. Your way isn't good enough. And no one, especially not the younger generation, wants to feel like they're constantly being judged for simply living in a different time. What we forget is this. The world they're growing up in is nothing like the one we knew. Their relationships, their challenges, the way they work, love, learn, it's all shaped by a different reality. Saying, back in my day, may feel like wisdom, but to them, it often sounds like criticism. And slowly, they stop opening up. They stop sharing. They stop coming to you. Not because they don't care, but because they feel misunderstood. True wisdom isn't about clinging to the past. It's about knowing what to keep and what to let go. It's about saying, tell me how things work for you, instead of, you're doing it all wrong. Because the real power of aging well, it's not in reminding the world how things used to be. It's in staying curious about how things are now. That's how you stop aging alone and start aging with connection, purpose, and deep, lasting respect. 2. The dangerous lie hidden in the words "I'm old and useless." It starts quietly, a soft sigh, a passing comment. I'm old now, I'm useless. You might not mean much by it, but those 5 words are more powerful than you think. Say them often enough, and people start to believe you. They stop asking for your opinion. They stop inviting you in. Not because they don't care, but because you told them not to. And here's the real tragedy. You begin to believe it too. You pull away. Say no to new things. Sit in silence instead of speaking up. Before long, you're not just feeling useless, you're living as if you are. But what if that belief is the only thing standing between you and the life you still deserve? Because the truth is, your value doesn't disappear with age. It shifts. You're no longer meant to rush, hustle, or prove. You're meant to share, guide, inspire. All it takes is one moment, one small yes. Yes to teaching. Yes to listening. Yes to simply showing up. You don't need to change the world. You just need to believe that you still matter. Because the moment you do, something incredible happens. People gather. They listen. And they begin to see in you what you may have forgotten in yourself. Not someone old and useless, but someone powerful, wise, and still full of life. 3. Why saying "I'm too old for this" might be stealing your joy. It slips out so easily. I'm too old for this. A phrase that sounds harmless, even humble. But underneath it, a quiet surrender. Every time you say it, you're not just avoiding something new, you're closing a door. To curiosity, to connection, to the chance to grow, even in the most beautiful, surprising ways. You weren't born knowing how to use a phone, ride a bike, or navigate life. You learned. So why stop now? The truth is, age doesn't take away your ability to grow. It simply asks you to grow differently, more slowly, more thoughtfully, but no less powerfully. When you choose to learn, whether it's how to use an app, take a photo, or understand the world your grandchildren live in, you don't just gain a new skill, you gain a bridge, a way to stay connected to the people and moments that make life rich and real. You show the world and yourself that your spirit is still alive, that your brain is still curious, that you are still in this life, not just watching it pass by. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I'm too old for this," pause, smile, and say, "Maybe I'll give it a try." Because the truth is, you're never too old to feel wonder again, and wonder is what keeps you young. 4. The silent power of your words. Are you pushing people away without realizing it? It starts with small complaints. The weather's terrible. Everything hurts. Young people don't care anymore. At first, people nod politely. They smile. They listen. But over time, something shifts. Conversations grow shorter. Invitations stop coming. Why? Because negativity, no matter how subtle, is emotionally draining. And the more often you voice it, the heavier it feels to those around you. Here's the secret no one tells you. Your emotional energy is contagious. Your words don't just describe your world, they shape the mood of the room. When you constantly complain, even with good reason, others begin to associate you with heaviness. Not because they don't care, but because it's exhausting. But the opposite is also true. Even a hint of warmth, a moment of humor, a touch of optimism, can transform how people feel around you. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to see light, even on cloudy days. Because when you smile through the sorrow, when you ask others how they're doing, when you tell stories that inspire instead of drain, people lean in. They feel better just being near you. And suddenly, you're not just someone they visit out of duty, you're someone they look forward to seeing. That's the quiet magic of a kind spirit. It doesn't need to shout. It simply invites others to stay a little longer. 5. The high cost of being always right? Is it worth your relationships? You've lived a long life. You've seen things, overcome struggles, learned lessons the hard way. So when someone younger offers advice, your first instinct might be to scoff, brush it off, or snap back with, "I've been doing this longer than you've been alive." It feels like protecting your experience, but in reality, it might be silently pushing the people you love away. Every time you shut down a suggestion or dismiss someone's opinion, you're not just being right, you're sending a message. I don't need to listen to you. And when that happens often enough, people stop talking, they stop sharing. Not out of disrespect, but out of defeat. Here's the truth. Real wisdom isn't loud. It doesn't need to dominate or defend. It listens, it asks, it learns, even when it already knows. Imagine saying, "That's interesting, tell me more," instead of, "You're wrong." Imagine asking, "What do you think?" instead of shutting the conversation down. The reward? People open up. They trust you. They want your advice because you've earned their respect by first giving it. Being right might win the argument, but being open wins hearts. And at the end of the day, connection matters far more than any debate ever will. 6. The quiet decline. What happens when you stop taking care of yourself? It starts with a thought. What's the point? I'm old now. It doesn't matter anymore. So, you skip breakfast. You throw on yesterday's clothes, you shrug off the doctor's call, ignore the walk, and settle deeper into the routine of not trying. But here's what no one says out loud. That quiet surrender is more dangerous than it seems. Because the moment you stop caring for yourself, others begin to wonder if they should care too. Neglect doesn't arrive like a storm. It creeps in gently, whispering that your needs aren't important, your time isn't valuable, and your health isn't worth the effort. And before long, your body slows down, your spirit dims, and your days start to blur together. But here's the truth. How you live still matters. In fact, it may matter more now than ever before. Brushing your hair, cooking a real meal, stretching for 5 minutes. These aren't just tasks. They're powerful acts of defiance. Proof that you're still here, still choosing, still alive. When you take care of yourself, you send a message to the world. I am not fading. I am still me. So today, drink that glass of water, put on a clean shirt, step outside and feel the sun. Because self-care isn't vanity. It's a declaration that you still matter and that your story isn't over yet. You're not fading. You're just getting started. Growing older isn't the end of your story. It's the most powerful chapter yet. if you choose to write it that way. Too many people believe aging means stepping aside, staying quiet, or slowly disappearing. But what if that's the biggest lie we've ever been told? What if growing older isn't about fading out, but about shining in a new, deeper, wiser way? Your value hasn't vanished with time. In fact, it's grown, layered with experience, shaped by resilience, and fueled by stories only you can tell. But here's the secret. That value only comes to life when you believe it's still there. When you stay curious, when you listen and share, when you take care of yourself and reach out to others. That's when your life becomes rich again, filled with laughter, connection, and quiet meaning. You don't need to be who you were 20 years ago. You just need to be fully you, right here, right now. So don't let the world trick you into shrinking. Don't let old phrases like, "I don't matter anymore," define your future. You still have something to give, someone to inspire, some joy to feel. And the moment you believe that, others will too. Because you're not done. You're just getting started.